Bienvenue to the capital of the north, à Lille. Let's see how different it is from Paris. Let's spend a day discovering some local hidden gems together. Allons-y! We are at la Porte de Paris, but not in Paris. This was actually the gate that leads to Paris. So it was built in the 17th century and it was to show the conquest of this city. Mais regarde cette météo magnifique. This weather is absolutely beautiful. A lot of people told me that Lille was often gray and rained a lot, and that's because we're right at the border actually of Belgium, which is where I used to study. So I am very familiar to this architecture, this feeling, and this weather. Mais on a une météo parfaite. We have a beautiful weather, and it's such a beautiful time to discover this city. Il n'y a pas un nuage, there's not one cloud. And so now on va prendre un petit thé, we're gonna grab a little tea and coffee. As I'm walking, I feel like il y a vraiment this Flemish architecture that I remember seeing when I was a student in Belgium. C'est très très beau, mais c'est très différent. It's really different than the architecture that we can find in Paris. And also I was just listening to some people, and even though French is the national language here, they have their own dialect, and their dialect is actually called the Picard dialect and the Chi dialect. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it would be funny to speak with someone in this dialect during this trip. Mais d'abord, but first, un peu de thé, a bit of tea to start our day. De thé ce matin, no tea, but I decided to try their signature drink, le dadaouette. Donc c'est à base de cacahuètes, because I really like cacahuète peanuts. On va goûter ça. C'est pas mauvais. On a un petit peu le goût du café, a little bit of coffee, mais on a la crème et on a la vanille, vanilla with peanuts. I never had a latte with peanut. They're already setting up le marché de Noël. I mean, we are mid-November, so it kind of makes sense. It says Village de Noël, Lille, Palais Rihour. So I'm assuming during Christmas, this square must be beautiful. For those of you who know, I mainly do Paris videos and Paris neighborhood walks, and I actually did a vlog series that was during Christmas time. So if you want me to make another vlog series about Christmas at Paris, comment down below and let me know. Tiens-moi au courant, because it's something that I love to share. But for other cities, I haven't done many Christmas markets, but perhaps c'est le temps de découvrir d'autres marchés de Noël dans d'autres villes. It's time to discover other Christmas markets in other cities. Right next to la Place Rihour is the place I wanted to take you, le Palais de Rihour, but I had no idea that it was here because I just saw the symbol of Office de Tourisme, tourism office, and I thought, oh, let me have a look, see what souvenirs, see if there's a map, and I realized we are in the building. So it was a building that was built by the Duke of Burgundy. It was built in 1453, so over 560 years old. Et tu peux rentrer comme ça. You can just walk in by yourself, buy some souvenirs, be in a medieval aged place that has some neo-Gothic architecture and art. C'est complètement fou. It's so amazing because I love sharing Paris hidden gems, but when I go travel, I love stumbling upon local hidden gems. It's not too hidden, but I think a lot of people don't come in because they think, oh, it's just a tourism office, but you're actually in an old palace. Et je viens de réaliser, I just realized qu'on peut monter, we can go upstairs Mais regarde cette architecture magnifique. So we have some neo-Gothic architecture. Je suis montée tout en haut. I went all the way up and I came across cette salle magnifique, this beautiful room. You can be right in the center of the palace. C'est tellement beau and it's so well hidden. C'est complètement fou. And it shows l'histoire des vitraux, the story of the stained glass windows. And it says la malédiction du Palais Rihour. What's that about? Devient l'hôtel de ville en 1664, so it becomes the town's hall in 1664. Victime du feu à de multiples reprises, so it was a victim of a lot of fires. Il est reconstruit en 1859 avant d'être définitivement détruit en 1916. So I guess the fact that there were so many fires and that it was destroyed, it says that it has une malédiction, curse. Mais néanmoins, this architecture, cette architecture, c'est fou. Wow, regarde ces vitraux. Look at these stained glass windows. I can't believe they kept it from the time. On a l'impression d'être dans une église. We feel like we're in a private church. What a hidden gem à Lille. Je sors du palais. That was a crazy hidden gem right there. And you can see that there's a monument. It says aux Lillois, soldats et civils. So to the people from Lille, the soldiers and the civils, you know, who represented Lille during the war, pendant la guerre. And I was looking for the next spot. Je regardais le prochain arrêt. Je regardais la carte. I was looking at the map on my phone and it says that we're literally 2 minutes walk away from the next spot. Du coup, ça montre que Lille est beaucoup plus petit que Paris. Lille is a lot smaller than Paris. Et là, nous sommes arrivés à la place générale de Gaulle. So this square is probably the main square of Lille. I actually came here before because, as I mentioned, I used to study in Belgium. I studied in a city called Antwerp. So when I would go visit my family in Lyon, I would do Antwerp, Brussels, Brussels, Lille, and Lille, Lyon, because it was a cheaper option at the time quand j'étais étudiante. Mais regarde-moi cette place, this beautiful square. It's giving me some major nostalgia. I only came here as a layover to wait for the next train, so I think I would only stay maximum 30 minutes. Mais c'est fou de se dire que maintenant, je travaille avec Lille, that I'm working with the city, how things have changed. Quelle belle ville, what a beautiful city. We are at one of Lille's most beautiful buildings. It's called La Vieille Bourse, which means the old stock exchange. So actually people would come here to trade and to sell their things, but it's also probably a place where they came to socialize because French people, we all know, on adore parler, on adore être sociable. So now let's see what it transformed into. Apparently there's a lot of famous booksellers à l'intérieur, inside. So we're gonna see if it's still the case. C'est très très beau. It's really beautiful with all these arches that surround this little place. I feel like c'est un endroit très apaisant, a peaceful place in the busy city. And we can also see that there are a lot of booksellers. Il y a des marchands de livres. Et c'est tellement chouette de voir des locaux faire leurs courses. Local people, they have their little pastry. Et ils regardent les différents marchés pour acheter des livres ou pour acheter des cartes. C'est vraiment très sympa comme lieu. What a nice place. viens de discuter avec une personne d'ici. I just talked with a local and he was telling me right now there's a lot of amazing art expositions. And so this one is one that is temporary, so it won't always be here. Mais c'est très très beau en tout cas. And he recommended another place, which is what we're gonna see later on in the video. This is such a nice square because you can easily talk to other people. And he told me that on weekends that there are chess games. Donc il y a des tournois d'échecs. Il y a des personnes qui viennent le matin. They come in the morning on Saturday mornings and on Sunday mornings. Et ils jouent aux échecs et je trouve ça superbe. Like it's a great place to reunite people around a chess game or around looking at antiques, books. Je trouve ça trop bien. It's such a cool concept. I wish they had more places like this à Paris. We are now in the place that absolutely made me want to come to Lille. I've actually heard about this place for the past few years and it's been on my list. Although we have the same place à Paris, it's actually originated from here and it's called Meert. So Meert is actually the oldest pastry shop in Lille and it has created the iconic vanilla waffles, les gaufres vanille. And even not knowing about Lille, a lot of French people actually know about these waffles and it's really an iconic place to come when you're in Lille. So they're really famous because they're here since 1761, depuis 1761. So vraiment pas récent. And another reason why they're so famous is because the King Léopold de la Belgique, this was actually one of his favorite spots to stop by. He loved coming here because it's so elegant. Il y a un salon de thé, which is exactly what we're trying today. Of course, we're gonna try their iconic waffles à la vanille, but we're also gonna try their iconic pastries, leur pâtisserie. Donc j'ai trop hâte de goûter tout ça. I can't wait to try all that. Now, let's order! Nous venons de commander, we just ordered. I asked recommendations of what to order. They told me to absolutely try le Saint-Honoré. So we got le Saint-Honoré, le vanille pécan et un éclair. Et bien sûr, avec un thé with some tea parce que j'adore le thé. Superbe. Oui. Parfait. Oh, c'est magnifique. Oui, on va tout partager. Donc, merci.
L'éclair au chocolat.
Oui.
Super.
Ouais, je vais l'étaler.
Ça, c'est la gaufre vanille.
D'accord. Vient d'arriver, everything just arrived et la première chose qu'on peut voir, the first thing that we can see, c'est leur gaufre vanille, which is their iconic vanilla Madagascar waffle. And why is it famous? It's because actually the pastry chef, whose name is after this place, his name was Meert, he actually invented the concept of having the vanilla with the waffle. Because at the time, actually, il y avait déjà des gaufres, you know, Belgium and the north of France. Ils sont très connus, they're very famous for their waffles. Mais ils n'avaient pas l'ingrédient de la vanille. They didn't have the ingredient of vanilla. And that's because Monsieur Meert, he would travel a lot, so he would gather some exotic ingredients comme la vanille. So he decided to incorporate dans leurs gaufres, leurs fameuses gaufres, which are super, super famous et que je n'ai jamais goûté. I'd never tried it because every time that I go to Meert à Paris, I always get du chocolat, des pâtisseries, des biscuits, and they also have tea. Ils ont aussi du thé. On va goûter leur gaufre vanille, the famous vanilla waffle that they're known for. La vanille de Madagascar, the vanilla from Madagascar is a vanilla like no other. Après la gaufre, on passe au Saint-Honoré, cette pâtisserie magnifique, this beautiful pastry. Maintenant, on va goûter le vanille pécan, pecan vanilla. Never had a pastry like this. Wow! Regarde ça. Donc, on a vanille, vanilla, le pécan, pecan. Et je crois qu'on a du caramel. Wow! Coup de cœur pour celui-là. I think this is my favorite. La base est croustillante. On a un peu de chocolat, on a de la vanille et on a de la pécan. Mon Dieu! Vraiment coup de cœur pour celui-ci. I think it's my favorite parce que le bas, the bottom, which is croustillant, crunchy, il y a un peu de goût salé, it's a bit salty. Après, on a la mousse vanillée, we have the vanilla mousse, et on a le pécan qui ressort un peu this nutty flavor. Il est hyper bien harmonisé. I think this is my favorite pastry of all. Wow, I never heard of it. Après avoir goûté la gaufre de vanille de Madagascar, after tasting the waffle that is from Madagascar vanilla, on va goûter les autres gaufres. We're gonna try the other waffles. And the thing is, it's a trend right now to have surprise boxes for items, but now it's gonna be a surprise box for flavors because I didn't realize that as I was setting up for this video, I mixed them, so I'm not exactly sure which is which. So we're gonna explore the flavors together. On va goûter la première gaufre surprise, so the surprise one. This is testing my culinary senses. Je dirais beurre de cacahuète, peanut butter, avec quelque chose d'autre, peut-être un praliné, maybe something nutty. But it's hard to guess. But it's good, très bon. Et on finit notre repas avec une tasse de thé. We're ending the meal with a cup of tea parce que ça faisait beaucoup de sucre. It was a lot of sugar, but it was so good. C'était tellement délicieux. Et ce qui est vraiment intéressant de la Maison Meert, what's so interesting, c'est qu'il y a un côté historique aussi. There's a historical part. C'était là où il y avait le roi Léopold. There was King Leopold from Belgium. He loved coming here. And also en France, il y avait le général de Gaulle. He also loved being a client here. They tried to really keep it as it was. Ils ont essayé de vraiment tout garder. Même la décoration de la boutique et du salon de thé, tout a été gardé comme à l'époque. Everything was well kept. From famous kings to Général de Gaulle to being a historically rich spot, it's not just a pastry shop, but it's really one of the oldest, les plus anciens en France. So if you come to Lille, it's an absolutely must go. Definitely try their iconic Madagascar vanilla waffles avec du thé ou du café. Ça va très très bien. And perhaps you can try the pastry that I fell in love with, which was a vanille pécan. Absolument délicieux. Let me know if you come to Lille or if you come to Meert. Don't hesitate to tag me in the Instagram because it really touches me a lot when I see that you come to the places that I recommend. J'adore ce salon de thé. I love this tea salon and I hope it will be added to your must-see Lille list. And if you can't make it to Lille, you can always try their pastries à Paris. Après que vous avez pris votre petit thé, after you took your tea, you can go dans la boutique, the shop, which is actually classé monument historique. So that means that they can't construct as they wish. Mais c'était vraiment comme c'était à l'époque. So we're talking about 1839 or 1859. And all these famous people, they saw it this way. So we had the Général de Gaulle, we had Napoléon III, we had the kings and queens of Belgium. C'était vraiment un lieu sublime, and it's crazy that still today we can see such a beautiful place and that we can just go buy some waffles here. You can buy the waffles directly here. You don't necessarily need to go to le salon de thé. Mais c'est vraiment, j'adore les lieux comme ça. I love places like this that have so much history, qu'ils ont tellement d'histoire, mais en même temps qui restent très élégants. And it has so much history and they can't touch any of it till the point that even their credit card machines, les TPE, they don't have like the actual machines to set it on because they can't touch les meubles et l'intérieur parce que c'est un monument historique, a historical monument. Combines all the things I love, les pâtisseries, sweets, l'histoire et surtout un lieu aussi beau. After Meert, we walked around quite a bit and ended the day in a local brasserie to try some local dishes. The first dish is une carbonade flamande, and it's a rich beef stew which is cooked slowly in beer, dans la bière, with onions and herbs. And the second dish is a water zooi, so it's a really creamy stew from northern France and Belgium. And this one was with fish, but it's also with chicken, and it's kind of like comforting dishes. They were all super delicious, très délicieux, and perfect for winter. So we are in front of le Palais des Beaux-Arts de Lille. It's one of the most iconic places à Lille. It's absolutely beautiful. Pour ceux qui adorent l'architecture, qui aiment l'art, what's really interesting is that it's actually the second richest collection of art in France besides le Louvre. So it's absolutely a must-see. Malheureusement, today, je suis avec petite Mémé, so we cannot go inside. But if you decide to go, let me know how beautiful it is. I'm going to show you a few of the images from the indoors. Perhaps next time I can come here, mais pas cette fois-ci. Not this time. Now, on to our next spot. We are in the second cafe of the day, le deuxième café de la journée. And I think there are so many cute cafes à Lille parce que ce café, this cafe, the concept is tu peux commander ta boisson, you can order your drink. Donc j'ai commandé un chocolat chaud. At the same time as you have your hot drink, en même temps que tu as ta boisson, you can actually paint. Tu peux peindre. C'est seulement 1 euro par heure. It's only 1 euro per hour, so you can stay as long as you want. And I'm looking around us. You can see a lot of people painted many different things. J'adore le concept. You can have a creative activity, une activité créative, tout en buvant sa boisson chaude, all while drinking your hot drink. Maintenant, allons peindre. Let's paint. And voila, I did ma petite peinture, my little painting. You can see, il y a un croissant, il y a un thé, et il y a un ruban. So a croissant, a tea, and a ribbon. And I'm probably going to keep it in Paris, perhaps put it somewhere special pour ce souvenir de Lille, for this little souvenir of Lille. In le bois de la Citadelle, which means the woods of the Citadelle, and it's actually un parc where locals come pour faire du jogging, pour marcher, pour se balader. They come to jog and have a rest. And what's so interesting is that this is actually next to a small canal, small river called la Rivière de Deutres. And it was actually a moat to protect the fortifications because La Citadelle is actually a military fort. It was built by Vauban and it was to protect Louis XIV, Louis XIV. So now we're going to go inside to see what it looks like in La Citadelle. Et quand on rentre, when we go inside, we can see that there is the protection over there of the walls. But actually, aujourd'hui, c'est une base militaire. It's a military base, which is why most of the place is closed off to people. But ici, on voit que la citadelle est à l'intérieur, that the citadel is inside. Et c'est un grand espace, and I think it's really great that it's open to public, the bottom part, where everyone can enjoy le jardin et le parc. We are in front of l'église Saint-Maurice, and the reason why it reminds me of mon grand-père is because his name was Maurice. So I want to light une bougie, a candle in memory of him. But it's actually a very famous church, Catholic church in the center of Lille. It's Gothic architecture, donc l'architecture gothique. But if you look closely, there are actually some signs of Renaissance. And it's really a place where a lot of people find some peace. And of course, everyone can pray inside. And if you go inside, you can see some beautiful arcs. And you can see also some beautiful stained glass windows. That's vraiment une église magnifique. And if you come here, you have to have a look inside. I just got out of the church et en fait j'ai allumé un cierge just to light a candle pour mon grand-père parce que c'est son anniversaire. It's actually his birthday. And when I just arrived to Paris, he was one of my biggest supporters. I remember one of the last conversations, I heard him over the phone. So hard to talk about this. But my grand-père was one of my biggest supporters about moving to Paris, and it made me un peu émotionnelle, a bit emotional, because I wish he saw that things turned out okay, because at the time it was really stressful. I just come back from Asia. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. I was in a bit of a mess in life because I just went through the lockdown in Shanghai and I wasn't really sure what to do. And so c'était une période très difficile dans ma vie, like a very difficult time. Et il était toujours là. He was always here. And so je pense à lui. I'm thinking of him. Je pense à lui très souvent, actually, very often, because the first times that I ever came à Paris to Paris were thanks to my grandparents. They took me there, and so a lot of the first memories I have de Paris, c'était avec eux. It was with them. So je pense à mon grand-père, qui s'appelait Maurice aussi. That was called Maurice as well, and I don't think I would be doing any of these videos in Paris si c'était pas pour lui. Donc, j'espère que tout se passe bien pour toi, grand-père. Et puis, bon, je vais pas en parler sur la caméra. I don't think I'm going to talk about it in front of the camera. Otherwise, people are going to be like, why is this girl in the middle of the street bawling her eyes out? Just to say that please tell the people you love them. You love them when you can, because you never know. One second, I was planning with my grandpa what we were going to do for his birthday. And the next, I was getting a call from my uncle saying he was in the hospital. So tu sais jamais, you never know. La vie est courte. Reste en bonne santé, stay healthy, tell people you love them, and don't take any of it for granted. We ended the day meeting a local friend who recommended us to go to aux Enfants terribles, and no, there were no terrible children, because that's what it means, but it's actually a very cool restaurant bar, and we tasted the famous the Welsh, which comes from northern France, and it was actually inspired by the British Welsh, which is called rarebit. So locals, French people, they added ham, du jambon, a fried egg, and sometimes beer beer, they cook it with de la bière, and they turned it into the hearty comfort food, which is really popular in northern France today. C'était très bon, il y avait beaucoup de cheddar, mais c'est vrai que c'est un peu lourd. It's honestly perfect for winter, but definitely go if you have appetite. Long time ago, il y a très longtemps, there was a baby named Charles that was born, and he was actually born in this house in November 22, 1890. So if you look behind me, il y a une pancarte. There's a pancarte. He wasn't any baby called Charles. He was le général Charles de Gaulle. So it's so surprising because I think a lot of French people don't know this as well. Il est originaire de Lille. He actually comes from Lille. And ever since he was small, he really loved history books, he loved France, and there are anecdotes that said that he would go in the streets of Lille and he would say, "Un jour, je servirai la France." One day I will serve France, I will help France. He became one of the most important French people that helped make what France is today. So aujourd'hui, on va voir sa maison natale. We're gonna see his birth home. Even though Charles de Gaulle was actually one of the biggest figures in French history, he actually had such a lovely, sweet home in Lille. And he actually had quite a traditional childhood. So he grew up in a close Catholic middle-class family where l'éducation, education, et l'histoire and history were super important. And his grandmother, actually, sa grand-mère, helped raise him, and she had a huge influence on him. She was very strict but very caring, and she taught him a lot about la discipline, the importance of duty, and a deep love for France. Look at all the decorations and how the house is. It's as if you're walking into someone's home, and I think that's the best part about it. It doesn't really feel like a museum, but you could really see that it's a classic 19th century townhouse. It's very cute, and you can see also all of the furniture from the period and from the time. We can see that there's a small courtyard and there's also a super amazing veranda. You can actually imagine Petit Charles growing up there with his family, learning values, history, and discipline. So visiting the Maison Natale is really nice to kind of give a sense of his early life, sa famille, son éducation, the traditional grounded environment that shaped him. And even today, the house is preserved as a museum, so people can see really everything about him, the furniture, family photos, and objects from his childhood. Et du coup, pour vous, le général de Gaulle, qu'est-ce qu'il a fait pour la France ?
C'est-à-dire le général de Gaulle, c'était une personne humble, intègre et payait son loyer. Après, là, c'est par rapport à tous les avions orlis et tout ça. Oui. Et après, quand l'Algérie elle a été pendant 100 ans, c'est lui qui a délivré l'Algérie.
Oui, c'est lui aussi. Ouais. Et depuis petit, je pense qu'il était très engagé.
Ouais. Et là, c'est là où il est né. Il est né, il n'a pas été élevé par ses parents.
Il y a la maison de sa grand-mère aussi.
Oui, il a été élevé par sa grand-mère.
Oui, en ce jour anniversaire, le 55e, on décompte déjà 55 ans. Rappelons-nous une fois de plus que la réalité se situe bien au-delà des mots et que l'ambition d'évoquer, de parler du général de Gaulle exige d'abord de la détermination, mais commande surtout une absolue rigueur.
Pour moi, vous le savez, c'était une évidence d'être à nouveau parmi vous et l'an passé.
Alors donc continuons d'agir, mais il ne faut jamais abandonner.
I just assisted what I think is one of the most mind-blowing experiences I've had in France this year, to be able to commemorate such a person with important people like les gens de la municipalité, de la ville, le préfet de police that I got to meet, and to talk about how he's so important and he has left such a strong image sur la France, et que même aujourd'hui, c'est une personne qui est très importante, qu'il a vraiment rendu la France forte et indépendante, et qu'il était libre, and that he was free, and that he always fought for France. Il s'est toujours battu pour la France. Et du coup là, just now, we were all singing la Marseillaise, the song of France. Et pour moi, c'était très émouvant. Et puis j'ai rencontré une dame très gentille d'ici. She's an advocate for women's rights. She always goes to events and really tries to represent les valeurs de la France. Et c'était vraiment un moment que je m'en souviendrai pendant très très longtemps. I'm gonna remember it for so long. Elle m'a même donné un pins en fait de la Lorraine de France, and she said, comme ça tu te souviendras de moi, you'll remember me, et tu te continueras à battre et représenter la France, like you'll continue to fight for the values of France and share what France really stands for. And I think in times like this, where a lot of things are uncertain in our government and the people's minds, we need to remember that people fought so hard to be where we are today. Même mon arrière-grand-père, even my great-grandpa, he was also fighting for the freedom of France against the occupation. And so to see all these people come together and really represent le général Charles de Gaulle, ça m'a beaucoup touchée. It really touched me. Et c'est vraiment une journée, je vais m'en souvenir pendant très longtemps. I'll remember today for a long time. C'est le coucher de soleil, it's sunset, and we're back in front of Porte de Paris. Honestly, Lille, you could actually do it in a day depuis Paris from Paris, because it's just 1 hour train away. Et honnêtement, I was very positively surprised with how lucky we were for the weather. So what a cozy place that is so different from Paris, although it's just 1 hour train ride away. It's another part of France that I discovered today with you, and I'm so happy you came along. I usually do videos about Paris neighborhoods and Paris hidden gems, but I also love exploring the beauty all of France has to offer. If these videos of traveling different parts of France and seeing and exploring the hidden gems is something you like, make sure to subscribe, because me and my little puppy Meme, we discover Paris, but we also discover other cities. So we hope to see you in the very next video, la prochaine video, which is gonna be such a fun one. If you wanna see the other videos that are linked to travels in France, I'm gonna link them in the description below. I had so much fun today, and I hope to see you in the very next one. Merci beaucoup et à bientôt!